fucking let's just smack a guy on national TV.
I am in support.
I mean, I don't want to spend too much time whether or not I support the slap is irrelevant. I'm just so, I get so giddy when these things happen. Conflict.
It's good TV. That's good TV right there.
I was like, man, I was ready to go to bed last night. It was like just before midnight or something, and I'm just like on Twitter, and I see a couple people talk about this thing, and I'm like, huh? So then I look into the thing, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe, I haven't watched the Oscars in years and years, and now I like regret that I wasn't watching. And then, obviously within like 10, 15 minutes of me seeing that originally, then the whole world was talking about it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but see, the thing is, do you really regret not watching the Oscars? Because you still found it immediately, basically. And were you going to watch the rest of the Oscars? No. No.
Yeah. Well, so, although I will say that I happened to be sitting on the couch and happened to turn it on right when they were throwing it to Beyonce, who had really just a hell of a performance. I never heard the song she was performing. I couldn't tell you what it was. But boy, visually it was sick. The whole thing was just sick. And I mean, she's just the perfect human. Like,
she's sick.
She said she's not, and she's not well. Pretty crazy. And this is why you need to get on Twitter, because it's pretty nuts seeing, no one has a rational take. It's all very severe.
That's why I'm not doing this recreationally.
Oh, it's great. It's just great. Like, God almighty. You just watch people feel either this is assault, he should have been kicked out of the event, he should be arrested, whatever. Or, he was standing up for his queen or whatever the fuck. Both of those things, both of those arguments make me cringe. And I hate to be like the centrist in this situation, and I'm not, I don't like to, both sides things as a verb, but I can't, like, both people saying that it's assault and he should be charged with assault is like, makes me cringe, and people who
that
are
makes
like,
me cringe the most. That makes me cringe the most. Let's say you and your wife are in a bar and somebody talks shit about your wife and you just slap them. That's just a regular, ordinary thing.
Yes.
Maybe you get kicked out of the bar, maybe you don't.
Right. That's true.
So the only difference is the stage, but this is a extremely special stage because not even anybody can just go to the Oscars. So it's not like you have random fans. Like, you're not gonna have the same level of security that you do even at the other award ceremonies. Right. So it's a very unique stage for this to happen, and I love this sort of thing happening on this kind of stage.
Yeah, I do too. The main takeaway is that we all win because it's not our fucking problem, and just very entertaining. Having said that, if in terms of where I fall personally, I am very, 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 very much, I am team take a fucking joke in general. In just as a blanket thing, I am very much team take a fucking joke. Like, whether or not I like someone in real life, I'm not talking about like celebrities. I'm talking about like in my day-to-day life. The fastest way for me to tell whether or not I'm gonna get along with you is, can you laugh at yourself? Can you take a joke? Now, I understand that people are saying that's not the same as, mocking someone's medical condition, or, I understand that there's like degrees and levels to it. I'm just saying in general, I side with comedians generally. Just like, you laugh at yourself, take a fucking joke, and it's not that fucking serious. However, I didn't think it was a great joke, and it was also, the pacing was weird, the timing was weird. It seems to me like maybe there's something personal going on behind the scenes, because
There definitely is. I don't know a lot about it, but I know there is beef.
I don't know. Yeah, because I don't know if your memory's been refreshed in this last 15-hour cycle here. When Chris Rock hosted the Oscars or whatever the fuck he hosted in 2016, he made a joke about Jada.
It's quite like Jada got mad. Jada says she's not coming, protesting. I'm like, is she on a TV show? Jada's gonna boycott the Oscars. Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited.
That was sort of a pompous, sort of super elite A-list thing to be like, well, I'm not coming. Well, you're not nominated for anything, so no one cares. So, but getting back to last night, it was weird. He was, doing the regular, I'm going to point around the room and roast random A-list celebrities and stuff. That's all well and good. He's making fun of Javier Bardem, and not making fun of him, but just joking about Javier Bardem and his wife, and they're both nominated for stuff, and who's going to win what and whatever. And he segued over to Will and Jada by saying Javier is praying that Will Smith wins. And he goes straight from that. There's no other context here. He mentions Will Smith's name. The camera shows Will Smith laughing. And then Chris Rock goes, Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? Making a joke about her bald head because she has alopecia. And I don't have a problem with that joke necessarily, but it was he didn't build up to it. He's going from target to target. Yeah. And he mentions Will Smith's name and insert joke. I don't think that was the best approach. You're Chris Rock. You could have done better.
I don't know enough about alopecia to find where it sits on my comfortability and joking about it spectrum, right? Yeah. Because obviously, things that you are going to heal from, joke about it all you want. Things you can't heal from, we don't make a lot of cancer jokes, and that's for a reason. Yeah. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying it's really hard to do it well, and you probably aren't going to. Right.
Yeah. No. I don't know a ton about alopecia either. However, someone posted a clip of Jada's own social media where she was laughing, showing herself in her, bald head and saying you just got to laugh about it at this point. It's funny. You just got to laugh about it. So juxtapose that with her reacting to a joke about it, again, sort of makes me feel like there's something behind the scenes going on, specifically between Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett Smith, and maybe Will, or maybe not. You know what I'm saying? There's some, they
not unlikely. Now the other side of the coin is maybe it wasn't actually about the baldness, but it was about the idea of maybe G.I. Jane is just so bad, and the idea of being in the sequel was that offensive to her that she was like, how the fuck are you going to talk about me and G.I. Jane in the same sentence?
The fuck? Don't put me in the same sentence as Demi Moore.
Well, the real lesson is just make better jokes. Just be better. Just do it better.
Yeah, just be better. I'm a huge fan of Chris Rock in general. Just be better. It wasn't. I'm not one of these people that's like,
well, I gotta protect my family. Well, you don't make jokes about my family. You talk about my family, you're gonna get hit. What did you think was gonna happen? Fuck around and find out. You don't talk shit, get hit. Blah, blah, blah.
Like we're fucking apes. Like we're fucking cavemen. Get the fuck over yourself.
It's not like he fucking decked him though. No, he gave him a nice bitch slap.
Again, I'm not upset that he slapped him. I'm talking about the way that people respond to this sort of thing in general. The way people are talking about it, yeah, of course, I would hit the comedian too if he made a joke about my wife. First of all, 50% chance no, you wouldn't. And again, just what is that What does that prove? What fucking year is it? Like, I just think that's such a weird, like, guys just use this stuff as a chance to puff out their chest. And if you come for me and my family, like, have you ever noticed how it's usually idiots that throw around the word respect the most? You've noticed this, right? Like, get out of here with that disrespect, bro. Like, no. This I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just saying something you don't like. Those are different things. Like, it's usually stupid people throwing around the word respect the most. And I think the Venn diagram between that type of person and the type of people who are like, yeah, of course, if you make a joke about my wife, I'm going to hit you. I think that Venn diagram's a circle. I think those are the same people. Idiots who like use the word respect way too much. And people who, I'm going to stand up and protect my family. Like, it's a fucking comedian making a joke. Like, get over yourself.
But as far in this specific circumstance, though, I think as far as it goes in the arena and the nature, because he just gets up, like, calmly walks on stage, slaps and walks off. That was the most entertaining possible way he could have done it. Just walking, slap, walking.
Again, extremely entertaining, and the biggest takeaway here is that we all win because this is fun. They're both gazillionaires. Who gives a shit?
Ultimately, this, matters very little.
Let's get this out of the way. The shit was not staged. The Oscars is not capable of doing anything even remotely this interesting or entertaining. Shit was not staged. I think it's very fucking obvious that this was not staged.
It's been afternoon in New York for too long. If it was staged, we would have found out somehow by now.
Right. Yeah, that's true. No, it wasn't. If anyone thinks that this was like set up to like drum up because the Oscars ratings have been dropping, no. The Oscars ratings have been dropping because they could never come up with something like this. But if we want to actually do like the timeline here and just sort of evaluate the events as they unfold, he does the joke, and you see Will laughing. That's a normal thing. You're in this setting, all the camera, all eyes are on you. You're going to laugh before you even hear the joke. You want to appear as though you can take a joke and you're having a good time and that guy's funny, etc. So when everyone's like, "Oh, Will thought it was funny at first," like, I don't know if he necessarily actually thought it was funny.
Yeah, or if he's there's a big gray area in that moment.
Yeah, and we'll never know, obviously, but it's entirely possible that he was laughing before it registered what had been said, and then. But regardless, it's objectively hilarious because you don't see, there was no cameras on them when he caught Jada's piercing gaze. That is like $1 billion footage if anyone finds that, because all we saw was Will laughing, and then the camera is back on Chris Rock, and then Will is walking up there. So it's what happened in between those two shots is what everyone wants to like see. I mean, we know what happened. I just want to see it, because what happened is he quits laughing. He looks over at her. She's not laughing. And he's like, well, time to overcorrect.
I think there are so many different spins you could put on this if you like go into the brain hole, because like I'm thinking, what if I'm Will Smith and I'm there, and what if it's like, it would be, because that's one of the things. That's what we joke about it. Like, if we were ever in the audience of one of these events, it would be great to just get up and slap the host.
Oh my god! So yeah.
Imagine you're like there with your wife, and it's maybe. I mean, I'm reading. This is an alternate read in a reality that probably very like 99.109s and then an 8 didn't happen %. But like, you lock eyes with your wife, and it's like, yeah, now's the time. You've been talking about slapping somebody on TV for a long time. There's nobody here at these Oscars. You're Will Smith. You can get away with this.
Like it's just Will Smith is just like, he has a bucket list, and one of the things is just I need to slap the person hosting the Oscars at some point before I die, and you're never going to be teed up better than right now. Well, so the parts of this that, okay, wait, hang on. We were doing timeline. I want to stay on timeline here for a second. So Chris Rock goes, uh-oh, and sees Will walking towards him. this sort of little thing has happened lots of times at events like this. And, like most people watching live who are there and watching on TV probably think Will is going to walk up and like whisper something in his ear or shake his hand or do something cutesy or tongue in cheek. Right. Because there's been a little arguments about, did Will stole on him? Did Will sneak him? And people are like, no, he didn't sneak him. Dude had to walk all the way up to him. But I think, yeah, but that doesn't, like, if you're Chris Rock, you're not expecting to get fucking hit with the guy walking up to you.
Well, but at the same time, if you're Chris Rock, you're the only one who can see Will's face in that moment.
But I bet anything, I mean, keep in mind, these are professional actors, and Will is one of the best actors ever. So I'm sure he was not showing, pun intended here, he was not showing his hand at all. The way he walked up to him, he was like a little bit hunched. And so again, it was just comical the way he walks up to him, and Rock is like, "What's about to happen? Is he gonna like just shake my hand or like what's?"
I mean, he did the classic. I gotta just plant my feet and wait this one out, see what goes down.
And
because he does not move after he gets slapped.
That's what I want to get to is Chris Rock. Like we've already talked about that it wasn't a great joke, regardless of whether or not you find it offensive. That's beside the point. I don't think it was that like funny a joke or like a good joke. But after he told a joke that I think was like a C- joke for him.
Oh, that's still passing. I'd give it. Well, I guess I wouldn't fail it. Maybe,
I wouldn't fail
like
it.
C-.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a great. But after that point, everything Chris Rock does is amazing. And I think he handled it better than anyone on earth would have handled that shit. Because, so first of all, I want to go on record and say that I would consider this, I would consider the hit kind of a sucker, kind of a sneak. Because again, you're not expecting that. You can't tell me that Will walking up to him is enough for you to expect that he's going to fucking hit you on global television. So Rock gets hit, and he go, and I just love, he's like, First of all, yes, took the hit like an absolute fucking champ. And I mean, it looked like he slapped him pretty good. And Rock didn't stumble. I mean, dude just ate it. He didn't even like do this. Like, if you get slapped, you're doing this,
Yeah, but he just stretched his face out with his face.
Yeah, he didn't do this because that was hard as fuck in that moment. But then he's like, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. And if the biggest, the only way he could have improved how he handled it is if he said, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me, and then just kept going. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Because he did try to keep going. And that's when Will starts hollering from the seats. Now, I'll get your opinion on this. I think Will did the hollering from the seats to clarify to the world that this was not a bit. I don't think he was yelling out of like, I don't think he was yelling so much out of primal rage. Obviously he was pissed, but I think he's yelling to tell everyone in the building and around the world, this wasn't like, we're not cool. This wasn't. That's
the best read on that I've heard so far. I
think that's what it is because he said it one time, and you kind of hear everyone in the crowd after there was like, chuckling, the normal like murmuring and stuff. When he says, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth the first time, everyone sort of, it gets quieter.
It's still kind of like,
and there was also great. There was sort of an audible, ooh, like, ooh. Right, there was a oh shit. There wasn't an oh shit when he slapped him because everyone is still assuming that shit was tongue in cheek, if not outright planned. It was at least like not a serious slap. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't have to be staged. It could still have just been like a bit that Will decided to do in the moment. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, because Rock did try to just say Will Smith slapped the shit out of me and move right along.
Yeah,
which would have been.
And anyway, we're still doing this thing.
That would have been the cleanest shit ever. And he did have the instinct. And his instincts in this whole thing were actually so good because Will yells it the second time, out your fucking mouth, which at this point I'm cringing because, like, settle down, big boy. Like, you had
he's
My family.
well, with that read, I think he's hamming it up.
exactly, and he is. That's why I'm cringing, because are you genuinely mad, or are you playing this up for whatever reason in your head? I just think, like, you were right there, up there. You were next to Chris Rock. You could have done whatever you wanted to do. You went with the open hand slap. It was a good slap. It's fine. But then, like, you're back in your chair now. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, you did the thing. The second yell made me really cringe, because I was like, all right, dude. Like, I understand you got mad over a joke. You went up there and slapped him. Now fucking take a breath. Who the fuck are you?
I mean, he's Will Smith at the Oscars.
I understand he's Will Smith at the Oscars. I just like, it's just like, you know what? I don't know. I just like, okay, dude. Okay, yeah, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Like, why are you needing to say that twice? Do you think he's going to continue making jokes about your wife? Like, you know, he wrote this already. He's not just gonna, like, go in on Jada Pinkett Smith at the Oscars. You know what I mean? He had his one jab in there, and he's going to keep moving around the room. And that's why I like that Chris Rock was like, okay, I'm going to keep her name out of my mouth. That was the joke. You didn't like it? All right. Can I move on now? And so here's where I think, so I'm not totally up on the details and stuff. But I think that you and Austin are further behind than I am in terms of the entire Will and Jada saga of the past, like, year.
Well, yeah, because I don't participate in these sagas. I get some surface level information, but then this happens, and I'm wildly underinformed.
Here's what opens this up to way more jokes at Will's expense, because you know, Will and Jada have, I guess, from what I understand, they have an open marriage. And
so the polyamory related discourse on this kind of pisses me off. We can get into that later.
Yeah, I'm sure, but basically, like, so is Will just, like, trying to show out in front of the world that, like, yeah, my wife has fucked a lot of other guys, just, you know, quit talking about it or whatever. I don't know. But in that moment, right?
There's not that's the thing about fucking monogamous people trying to talk about this shit. There's not a direct bridge to that, and there doesn't have to be. That's not how it works.
What I'm saying is, this wasn't what I was saying, but what I mean to posit is that from the outside, and I think that this is sort of the general consensus, and this is what opens Will up to jokes, is that from the outside, like, I don't think Will wanted a polyamorous relationship, is what it feels like. It feels like he is letting her do what she wants to do because he loves her. That's not the same as a polyamorous relationship. You feel me?
No, it's not. But like, that's fine. People can fucking do what they want.
It's fine, but it's funny. It's funny because like, just traditionally, comedically speaking, you know, you're a cuck. But you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I mean, like for me personally, like, that style of joke is on the same level as I hate my wife jokes, where I'm like, this is stale and old, and that's not the world anymore. I'm over it.
Like, conceptually, I'm with you, but what I'm getting to is that
no, I know that's how it's gonna play out. I'm just giving this my
Rock had the instinct, and any comedian would have the instinct in that moment, because this dude just got up and smacked you on national TV, and you're in this big gig, right? You're not that it's like too big a moment for Chris Rock, but you know what I mean? Like, you're hosting the Oscars, it's a big deal, and this dude just came and fucking slapped you. Any comedian's instinct would be to just get mercilessly petty, the same way that you treat hecklers, right? And this is why I think Rock handled it so well, because you hear him go, boy, I could okay, and he takes like several deep breaths because all the jokes are just firing in here. That's my favorite part of this whole thing, is you hear Rock go, boy, I could just Okay. Whew. And then it dawns on him that this is going to be super viral and talked about, and he's like, wow, this is the greatest night in television history. Holy shit. All right.
Yeah, it dawns on him at the same time, I feel, that, like, they're not cutting, and also,
Yeah.
this is the greatest thing to happen on television.
Right. Rock is like, oh, this is complete. This whole train.
We've been rolling. The whole time.
I'm the conductor of this train right now. This is all up to me where this whole Oscars goes right now. And in the interest of the people writing the check for me, I'm gonna keep going with the show. But boy, if this were not the Oscars, if this were anything else, if this were even like the Golden Globes, if this were anything else, you're getting 100 Jada fucking other guys jokes, like for the next 30 minutes, if this isn't the Oscars. And that's why I think Rock handled it better than almost anyone could have. Not just that he took the hit like a champ, the whole thing. He's just like, because it's like every comedian's dream. You have a pass at that point. The dude did. I mean, again, I don't have a problem with the slap or anything, but the dude did assault him. So at that point, as a comedian, you basically have license to, just literally say whatever you want about the guy. You know what I mean? And he didn't. He's like, you know what? I'm steering the ship. We're gonna keep going with the show. Holy shit.
Comedy gets a more of a green light in general than a lot of other art forms. So that is what it is, I guess.
Does it? I mean,
a kid shoots up a school. They're not like, this kid listened to George Carlin. They're like, he listened to the Acacia Strain.
You mean in terms of its influence? Yeah, I suppose.
And like, I don't know.
You're right. I think there's probably psychological reasoning for that.
I'm sure there is, but that's that's part of.
I suppose comedy gets
to other art forms.
Comedy gets more of a sociological pass.
Yeah.
In terms of how it affects people.
You can get away with more.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, but I still, I guess, as I'm talking to you about this, as much as I didn't think the joke was very good, I think that given the context, I just find Will Smith unbelievably cringy in all of this. Whether or not you think that the proper response to, whether or not you think it's appropriate to slap somebody who insults your fucking
family
or whatever the fuck, like, I'm sorry, I can't authentically make that case, because that just seems so, like, again, is this 1846? What are we doing?
I mean, we're not that much further past 1846.
Like what? Like
I think I draw
honor. Like the fuck.
I don't know. I don't care about that. I don't care about the like defending her honor aspect of it more than I do care about the difference between an open hand hit and a closed hand hit.
Again, I don't have a problem with the slap. Like, I think that it's on a macro level, I think that's a silly and illogical response, but very entertaining, very fun.
Oh yeah, great television.
And Will did nothing to change my general feeling that he's just corny. Like, through all of this, I didn't think this, because that was a lot of guys on Twitter are really championing him as like, oh, that's badass. Like I don't think he really like demonstrated his alpha superiority or whatever the fuck.
He did Will Smith anger, which is like still Will Smith. So like
and it also even though we already said like there's a very realistic thing about he was laughing at first, even though we understand that he maybe could have just not, the joke hadn't registered yet when they showed him laughing, it still is very difficult for my brain to reconcile the switch from sitting there laughing to then not only the slap, but then getting back in his seat and continuing to scream about keep my wife's fucking name out of your mouth when you were just Like, they mentioned your wife. You know what? If he were consistent, as soon as Chris said Jada's name, Will would have gone deadpan, like, don't say anything. You know what I mean? If it was really keep my wife's fucking name out your mouth, then the second her name was uttered, if that's really how he feels inside, are you following? Like, if that's really how he feels inside.
I'm following, but like he said name, what he meant was condition. He does not mean name. He means do not talk about her condition.
But I'm not sure about that, only because, like, yeah, the condition is why she was offended and why people might consider it an offensive joke or whatever. But I think this is where I go back to, I think that this was a show that he put on for the world, not just Chris Rock. I think he was saying, everyone stop making the jokes about me and my wife having an open relationship. That's why this is cringy to me, because I think Will seized an opportunity to try and boss up on the world and say, everyone stop making jokes about my wife. That's how I feel about it.
I don't know enough about the thing to have a like solid opinion on whether or not that's what I think is happening.
Lots of jokes have been made and will continue to be made. And some of them are funny.
Some of them are funny. Some of them are about as good as the joke that started this, which is not great.
It's just not a great joke. And
that's jokes for you. Some of them are bad. Some of them aren't.
That joke could have landed better too if there was just more around it. This was a bunless burger, a bunless joke burger. It was. I
feel like this was just bun.
Whatever. It wasn't a whole sandwich. There was
this is just a pool of ketchup on a plate.
Yeah, it's like you need the other stuff too, or else this is weird.
This is like technically food, but I don't want it.
And of course, first of all, I have no fucking idea what movie he was in or what he won the award for, but it is great that he minutes later
had to go up and accept an award.
Won the award, and everyone's cheering for him and everything. And I think that incident happened, and then everybody involved was kind of overwhelmed for a little bit, and I think Will was overwhelmed for longer because he was up there for like 6 minutes giving this speech, and he just went on and like a long time.
It was a fine speech. It could have been half as long and been just as fine.
Yeah. And God Almighty, because I'm a bad person, and all I want is to hear whatever Chris Rock says next. I just crave the unbridled pettiness that was happening. Like, I want to know the jokes that Chris Rock kept himself from getting off. And the next Chris Rock special is a lot of people were saying on social media, like, I retweeted one that said Chris Rock's next special is going triple vibranium. I thought that was pretty good. Like, yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great for business for both of them. But yes. the shit was not staged. The Oscars is way too dumb.
It's great for business for both of them, and it's opened up a lot of discourse between really idiotic people on the internet, and that's all we do now. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
discourse between idiots online and entertainment.
A thing happens, and then really, really bad arguments happen. Like, really fucking stupid arguments happen.
And we finally get to participate and pretend like our argument's a little less stupid. Maybe we're not pretending. Maybe it is a little less stupid. Send us hate mail. Tell us why.
Send us hate mail.
If you have to ask, you don't know, @gmail.com.
If you have to ask, you don't know, @gmail.com. Goodbye.
Cha-cha.
To ask, you don't know. You have to ask, you don't know. You have to ask, you don't know. If you have to, you don't know. If you have to ask, you don't know. You have to ask, you don't know. If you have to ask, you don't know.